have no idea what the fuck.
Welcome to another episode of I Have No Idea What the Fuck, and I want to expand on gratitude. Gratitude was my first episode in the podcast. If you go to iTunes or Spotify or Google or even Anchor, you can find the several parts of the first episode there, but I want to expand on it. So I'm going to go into some really basic ideas having to do with astrology. So astrology is, it's not considered a legit science or topic, but for me, it has proven to be quite useful. And so I'm going to admit that I have quite a bit of Scorpio energy in my chart. Enough, I'll put it like that. And the one thing I realized with that particular energy, for those that are not familiar with astrology, there are elements, and there are three aspects to every element in astrology. So the elements meaning fire, earth, air, and water. And there are three aspects to each one of those elements. And Scorpio deals with one of those particular aspects. And so Scorpio is a sign under the element of water. And water is flowing, it crashes, it's deep. It's like you go to the depths of the ocean, there's a lot of pressure down there. There's so much pressure at the bottoms or at the depths of the ocean that it even becomes, you even see some molten fluid coming out from the magma layer and coming up into the ocean, basically. And believe it or not, there are some creatures that actually live in those extremely hot and pressure-dense areas. No, I'm not being as articulate as I could be at the moment, because I'm trying to stay alive crossing these damn streets. So, the one thing I want to talk about is, with the Scorpio energy, it's such an intense and encompassing energy that this is why if you know a Scorpio, if you know anybody born in between, late October and late November, this is why they're so emotional. This is why they're so moody. This is why they brood so much. This is why they're so passionate, because Scorpio is the sign of intensity. What does this have to do with gratitude? And why am I only talking about Scorpios? Why am I not talking about Aries or Tauruses or Aquarians? Well, the thing about astrology is I'm only talking about this topic in terms of astrology. I could talk about it in a much more general sense if I wanted, but right now I'm using the context of astrology. Scorpio is the sign of intensity. Every sign represents an aspect of ourselves. And so Scorpio is the intensity from an archetypal psychological perspective of all of us, is the intensity of all of us. When we get to a place of extreme emotion, when we get there, when we go there, anything can happen. When we apply our minds in the most intense way possible, when we apply our passion in the most intense way possible, when we receive an experience in the most intense way possible, that is basically Scorpio. And then that experience is so profound that it transforms us. It transforms our understanding of the world. It transforms our basically how we perceive ourselves. And therefore, it is a sign that can represent every person. Every sign represents an aspect of every person, whether they have it in their chart or not. Again, what does this have to do with gratitude? Scorpio is so all-encompassing that there are three options that are given to it on how to deal with any particular situation. Denial, which is repression, which is blockage of energy. Redirection of the energy, thinking something else, thinking something new. Or letting it flow as it is. And then you could even say there's a fourth option, which is actually a really, really incredible option, letting it flow as is while having gratitude. And it's one of the things that I'm learning on how to deal with situations. Because as an HSP, highly sensitive person, stimuli is 10 times as loud, at least, as it is with a lot of people. And so, when you're on the spiritual path, when you're awakening and becoming a much more refined person spiritually, meaning understanding the true nature of reality and what your true purpose is here on this planet and in existence, you begin to realize that it's really best that you don't resist anything. Because due to the law of attraction, whatever you put out is what you're going to attract. If you're in resistance to your surroundings are going to be in resistance to you. It's just that simple, real simple. And for me, this is something I'm still learning. This is a lesson that I'm always getting forcefully upgraded by life about with regards to. And again, as an HSP, an empath, psychic person, it can be pretty daunting dealing with people. I can't deal with people in the same way that a person who is not an HSP can. I just cannot. I cannot constantly deal with people on people on people on people on people on people on people. I can't, I just, I was making a beat there just in case you were wondering what the fuck I was doing. I can't do that. It just gets to a space of overload. I have to back the fuck off. I need my time. I can't just be going ham on it all the time. I just can't go at it like that. Maybe some of you resonate with those words. And so, many times you won't be, like, people like me need to be oriented in the proper way in order to deal with people in the most healthy way, so that people that are not HSPs don't misunderstand and think that you're being elitist, you think you're better than everyone else, or that you don't like people, or what have you. So, at my job, there's this one particular person, and I do not like this person's energy at all. There's nothing wrong with the person themselves. Their personality, they're very friendly, but the energy, it's like a heavy cloud. Excuse me. And sometimes when you're a sensitive person, you can feel when certain people like to just hang on to you and hang on to your energy longer than you're comfortable. It's like people who like to, when they're talking to you, they want to latch on to you, and you can feel that, and I feel that happening with this person. And I'm like, fuck, get the fuck off me, dude. Like, for real, like, just get the fuck off me. But if I said that out loud, it would be like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck are you talking about? You good, bro? And so I had been struggling for a long time, meaning like any situation like this, if you're struggling longer than a day, it's a long time for me. But I've been struggling with it for a while on how to deal with this, because usually I just kind of just fucking get out of there, you know? I'm just like, okay, fuck this, I'm done. Either this motherfucker goes or I go. And I'm realizing now that that's probably not going to happen. I need to keep my job for the moment. And this person needs the job as well. And so, not that I wasn't aware of that dynamic before, but now I'm just more willing to find a solution other than just, one of us needs to be eliminated. There can only be one Highlander. I can't live like that anymore, and I'm starting to see that as well. For those of you like, what the fuck does this have to do with gratitude? I'm getting there. Shut up. So, what this has to do with gratitude was one thing I realized is that when you're in true gratitude, because I was in resistance to this dude. I was in total resistance to this dude. And due to some lessons I have been learning over the past few days from within, at first I was like putting a massive resistance, and even he could pick up. It's like, man, this motherfucker don't like me. Well, fuck him. And I'm like, nah, man, you know what? I shouldn't be so fucking resistant toward this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I need to like embrace this. I need to have gratitude for whatever energy this motherfucker is bringing to me. You know what I'm saying? And so I just started having like genuine fucking gratitude. Like for real, just genuine gratitude. Like, thank you. I saw myself, just saying thank you. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. Like, it was like all of a sudden, like the energy, whatever the fuck was going on, just started disappearing. It just started just completely, you know what I'm saying? And I just said thank you. Like I saw myself in my mind's eye with prayer hands and bowing to him, doing the polite bow, saying thank you very much. And I saw him reciprocate, and that was rude. And then all of a sudden the motherfucker just bounced, like in my mind's eye, like his energy left, and then he stopped fucking with me. And the intuition that I got, now I know everybody's not going to experience it like this, but I experienced it like this. And the intuition I got was that when you're in gratitude for something, the universe realizes that you got the lesson. Even if you don't intellectually understand why something's in your life, sometimes that's not the penultimate point. And penultimate means super, really awesome, ultimate. That's not the penultimate point. The point is to realize there's so many reasons why you should be grateful. Because number one, you don't have to be a human. You don't have to be on this physical plane. You don't have to, you don't have to be here, like, at all. Like, but you're here. You're here. And that motherfucker who's getting on your nerves, you better be grateful, man. Because your ass don't even gotta be here. Now, that's not an invitation for people to take themselves out the game. It's more to show, to give perspective on, dude, you don't even realize how blessed you are just to be a fucking human, man. Like, you're human, 2 arms, 2 legs. You can reflect on yourself. You can be self-aware. You can come to greater understanding of yourself. You can grow your own consciousness. As far as we understand, a fucking deer can't meditate and expand their consciousness like that unless they eat one of those weird mushrooms. I'm going off on a tangent. I know y'all are like, man, he's like kind of freaking out this episode. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired, man. I don't know. But, but like you fucking lucky to be a human, man. You're lucky to be a human. And you do not have to be here. And so I would say you need to have absolute gratitude for who you are, for every situation that you deal with, because you don't have to be here. And everything that presents itself to you is just doing just that, presenting itself to you. Gratitude is a subtle thing. At first, you're not going to feel grateful for things that appear to be bad in your life. You're not going to feel grateful about it. But you say thank you anyway. Gratitude is very much like in the same league as forgiveness with me. It's something that is very, very subtle. It's a subtle space of awareness where you truly are able to have positive detachment. And when I say positive detachment, it's basically the awareness that, yo, it's all good, even though this motherfucker did this to me, even though this is happening, even though I'm still gonna forgive you. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let that dynamic in me go. I'm gonna let this emotion of resentment go. I'm gonna let this emotion of hatred go. Gratitude is very, very similar. It's a similar process where, you know, it's like, I know that it looks bad, but I'm just gonna be grateful for it. The universe presented this to me, and you are the universe, so you're just presenting it to yourself. And so I must be presenting it to myself for a reason. And the only real reason is for you to be grateful for it. Because this is a play. This is a game. You're an infinite being. Or rather, you are infinity pretending to be a singular being. And if you were just a fully realized infinite being, you know, it'd be boring as shit. You have to realize that the rules of the game are such that you made these rules of the game. The laws of physics, your infinite self created those laws so that you would have limitations so that you could play a game. There's so many beings when they get quote unquote spiritual, they're so wanting to get out of here and they don't have any fucking gratitude for being here, man. It's like you brought your ass here. You need to have gratitude. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that it's pretty much the master key to basically achieving any kind of real spiritualhood in this realm. It's pretty much the only way. I mean, when I say it's the only way, I'm saying being able to have a positive detachment about everything, to not judge the quality of the value of who you are and the value of life based upon momentary things. And the entire universe is shifting all the time. The whole universe is vibrating, which means the whole universe is transient. And you're going to make a judgment about the quality of life? You're going to make a judgment about the value of yourself and of other beings based upon a transient experience? Are you kidding me? It doesn't make any sense. Now that's not to say don't get mad, and that's not to say, you know, you can't be angry, because anger is a motion of the universe. It's a vibration of the universe. But understand that anger is just an energy. It doesn't define you. Now, when I said that gratitude is like forgiveness, I was also saying that in practice. Meaning, sometimes you don't feel like you want to forgive a motherfucker. But if you know, and you don't feel like being grateful for a situation, but if you know how the universe actually works, you're going to say it anyway. When somebody difficult gets up in your face and you want to just snap their neck, you say to yourself, thank you. Not to them, not to the transient personality and body that's in front of you. That personality will dissolve once their body disintegrates. Once they leave their body, that personality dissolves completely, man. And the body will wither to dust. So the being that you're seeing in front of you is like a transient form of infinity, man. Just like you. The being that you think you are, this limited human being, is transient. You think that... See, I'm going to digress a little bit, and then I'll get back to the Scorpio thing, about how the energy should flow. People think that when you die, you just create a fucking ethereal copy of your body and you wander the realms. They think that that's how it works. And it's like, well, that could be how it works because the entire universe is vibrational imagination. The entire universe. There's nothing about the universe that is intrinsically real or solid or there's no intrinsic vibrational foundation to the universe. Zero. The only foundation for the vibrational reality of the universe is non-vibration. A non-vibrational state. Period. But many times, you leave the body, you just completely just dissolve into the cosmos, especially for the enlightened motherfuckers. And it's all good because you never were that personality. You never were. You're playing a game. So anyway, I'm tired, guys. So that's why I'm like, my energy is a little bit different on this episode. I'm just a little tired. But back to the Scorpio thing. So the options. So if a situation presents itself to you, you do one of four things, 3 or 4 things. 1, you could deny it, you could repress it, you could resist it, you could say, nah, fuck that. So that blocks up the energy. You block up the energy, the universe is gonna block you. Period. It's just what it is. It just creates all kinds of blockages. 2, you can redirect it. You can change your thinking and say, oh, this is the way it should go. This is the way it could go. Number 3, you can let things be as they are. You can leave things as they are and don't do anything about it. And then number 4, you could leave things as they are, but also have gratitude. And that's absolutely essential. Absolutely essential. Now the masters will say, the masters will say have gratitude. Some masters will say have gratitude, and some masters will say just let it be what it is, without any thought, anything. And that's a slightly more advanced version of getting down with the universe. But I'm talking about gratitude. So those are the 4 ways to do it, and that has to do with Scorpio. From my perspective, it doesn't mean it exclusively has to do with Scorpio. I'm associating that process with Scorpio because Scorpio is such an absolute sign that denial is not good for Scorpio at all because it will create some bullshit real quick. Any person can, but Scorpio very especially. Redirecting by changing your thoughts. Gratitude is kind of a version of that, but more like, okay, well, you could say, well, this situation is trying to teach me something. It's like, okay, cool. If you really want to get down to it, it's like what it really is like all of it is shifting your thoughts into a particular vibration. If you deny the situation, you're shifting your thoughts into the vibration of denying and repressing it or resisting it, which isn't the best way to use your thoughts. Number 2, you could say, well, this is trying to teach me something. What is this trying to teach me? And then, it's like you'll learn something. And then, man, it's crazy. Like my mind is going a million miles a minute. And I don't know how to articulate it all intelligibly. But then you could just be in gratitude for it. Keep it very, very simple, because it's like sometimes when you believe yourself to be a personality, the infinity that you actually are can tend to overwhelm the personality that you think you are. So sometimes it's like just for the intellectual mind, you want to keep shit real, real simple. Like, how do I deal with every situation? Gratitude. Gratitude keeps it very simple. It's a way to reframe and recontextualize the situation in a way that benefits you, basically. And then the final one is just to let things be what they are without applying any thought to it. It's just complete acceptance of it. Now, that is a mindset. That is a mindset that you're shifting to instead of saying, "What is this trying to teach me?" Or I'm going to shift into gratitude, or I'm going to deny it, or I'm going to, you're not doing any one of those things. You're just letting the moment come at you naked, and just realizing that everything just is what it is, 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 and you're like, that's pretty much what it is. But again, this is about gratitude. This is why gratitude is important. I can talk about some of the other tiers of, how to deal with, experiences and situations and emotions, maybe in another episode. But yeah, this was mainly about gratitude. Man, this is weird. I just feel my energy being a lot different in expressing this. So this is definitely different. If you enjoyed it, cool. If it freaked you out, cool. If you hated it, cool. But you're at the end, so you must not have hated it that much. And I love you guys. And thank you for tuning in to this episode of I Have No Idea What the Fuck. If you're seeing this on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, bruh. Subscribe and hit the bell. Please subscribe and hit the bell. If you're seeing this, or if you're getting this off of Patreon, or if you're seeing it on Patreon, please consider becoming a patron. It's only $1 a month. You'll get access to exclusive content that other people will not fucking see, and or hear rather. And you'll also get videos. Other people are not going to get, they might see, the still of me looking off to the side, being all fucking dramatic and shit. But they're not going to see me moving around, talking to you, looking you right in your face. So consider becoming a patron. And I really appreciate that, because I'm doing so many things at once, man. I'm creating podcasts, working on an album, helping people with their social media, doing social media. I also have a regular job, I'm, doing all kinds of shit every day, and definitely helps me in the process of moving toward my goals. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in and valuing what I do so much. All right. So with that said, peace.